I think this will be mostly unanimous. The New York Giants.
Yeah, Patriots.
Now listen, I actually think the Giants have done one thing smartly, which is I think they have built up that defensive line to where I think that could be a top, legitimately, I should say, a top 5 D line. Not top 5 defense, but top 5 D line, which can be a building block for the future.
Right.
But Dexter Lawrence plus Brian Burns plus they have other guys along there, I think it's like, oh, okay, you're going to have something. That's going to be your identity. The problem is everything else is a mess. Now, listen, I like Neighbors, and I like Andrew Thomas. So I think you have some real pieces to build upon, but I don't know about Brian Dable. I do know about Daniel Jones. They're going to be, I think, in contention. Sorry, Greg.
Watch him.
Greg, did you see? You saw Daniel Jones'
preseason.
Yeah, we saw it. They're going to be in contention, luckily for them, for the #1 quarterback in next year's draft, and that's how they can turn the page. This is where there's going to be gasps. At number 3 is the Philadelphia Eagles.
Gosh.
They've lost 6 of the last 7 games. They had a bottom 4 defense across the board in the NFL last season. They lost a future Hall of Famer, the leader of their team, the best player on their offense. Their coach and their quarterback don't get along. Their coach was known for one thing, kind of being a jerk on the sidelines, and now he's been like, no, I'm going to stop that. If anyone else could have told him that was a bad idea years ago, classic 2, once again. And all of those things, they come into the season on the hot seat. They have 2 great receivers. I know that. I don't know much else about this football team other than their GM loves the acquisition of, oh, I knew who that guy is. Jahan Dotson? Oh, yeah, I remember him.
He's good.
Oh, is he?
Especially as a third receiver.
Okay. Is he?
As a third
Based
guy?
on what?
Well, Sam Howell.
Based on what? I'm just telling.
Greg
so,
liked
He's the
him.
third receiver.
Okay, that's great. I'm telling you right now that there's a reason he was available from a team within their division. A team that, by the way, I have finishing second. The Washington Commanders.
Wow.
So the argument for the Commanders is simple, which is the new coach bump from Dan Quinn and the fact that I like Jaden Daniels as a player. I don't like him long-term as a prospect because I am concerned about the injuries. I'm concerned about his body, his frame, and his ability to survive 8, 9, 10 years in this league. That's my whole argument against him, is that he's too small for a long NFL career. That doesn't mean he can't be dynamic in an individual season. They have decent weapons, and I understand defensively there are going to be some struggles. However, I think there is always a team that everyone has written off as, oh, they're going to be one of the worst teams in the league. That you see, oh my gosh, are they in the playoffs? Are they right there? Now, I don't have them in the playoffs, but I have them finishing second. And then in first place is the Dallas Cowboys, who, for all of the consternation this offseason, they got CD done. They still have clearly, by a wide margin, the best defense in that division. They still have clearly, in my opinion, the best quarterback in that division. And CeeDee Lamb gives them a good, decent receiving core in and of himself. They won 12 games every year. I think 10 games is enough to win that division. I have it as one playoff team division, Greg, and I have the Dallas Cowboys being that one team, and I have Philadelphia firing their coach during the season.
Wow.
Wow.
We do kind of possibly agree on that. Look, I don't have the Eagles finishing third. The Cowboys, you're a little higher on the Cowboys than I am. I like the Commanders. I like what they're doing. The Giants, you know how I feel about Daniel Jones. I'm not going to say that they're fourth, but they're at the back end.
So who's winning the division?
You know what? I want to see what your list is like.
Yeah.
I tell you, Nick, you're going to rue the day you put that little list together. All right, number 4, we agree. This is all we agree on. Giants at number 4. All right, I don't know that I need to even say anything. I like Malik Neighbors. That's about it. All right, at number 3, the Commanders. I love Jaden Daniels. I think he's going to have a dynamic year.
So believe
and
it.
they're growing.
So
I
believe
think they're growing. No, I do believe it. That doesn't mean I think he's making the playoffs as a rookie, but I think he's got a bright future. Number 2, the Cowboys.
Oh,
right?
playoffs!
I do have them making the
handing
playoffs.
out these playoffs.
I mean, we're
The
going to
Cowboys, I do have them making the
playoffs.
playoffs. And that leaves, of course, the Philadelphia Eagles. 13 wins, They are going to play well.
Wait, 13
Hurts,
wins is what you're picking?
yes. Jalen Hurts will be in the MVP discussion.
Wow.
He will not win it, but he will be in the MVP discussion.
Okay.
All right? I can't believe you are so down on the Eagles.
You mean the team that was the worst team in the league for 2 months last year? That team? The team
Yeah,
that had one of the worst defenses in the league for 4 months last year?
Because that team was still able to make the playoffs with 2 months of horrible football. All right?
How'd the playoffs go for them?
It didn't go well. I labeled it a supernatural funk.
Yeah, you did.
But
But
it's
that is
gone.
not analysis.
It is
You've
out.
just said it happened and it's gone. Yeah. With
I'm
no
giving you
explanation.
analysis. They got 2 great receivers.
They
now
had
they
that
got a
during the
third one
funk.
that's good.
Dotson's not good.
Kellen Moore is going to make that offense so much better.
Why?
Dotson's
Based
the
on
third
what?
receiver. One, last year they had no imagination in that offense.
Dotson was-
no motion pre-snap. Kellen Moore will bring all this. And I'm not with or without Dotson, I was high on him. Saquon Barkley, who's been running behind one of the worst offensive lines in the league for his whole career, where everybody knew that he was getting the ball because his quarterback was really bad. Sorry, Greg. He's now going to a team where they cannot focus on him. They're going to have a very good look, I like Jason Kelsey too. Hall of Famer, all that. They're going to be great. That offensive line is still going to be very strong. Those receivers, the variety in that offense, Saquon is going to have a ball. And I think the defense, Wilds will notice 2 words.
Vic Fangio.
Yeah,
Defense is going to be better. They made some good moves.
Hold on, real quick. Who did Fangio coordinate last year?
The breakdance.
They were breakdancers.
You can't make coordinated out of breakdance.
Yeah, all right, go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, I got the Eagles winning the division.
Thank you.
When I look at the Eagles, what I think that they're doing is they're overcompensating offensively, in my opinion. You say Johan Dotson is not a good receiver, you're outside your mind. He is good. He had a down year.
He had 2 down. His whole career's down career. He was good in college.
He had a down year last year. But I like him in this situation. I think what they're trying to do is really put a lot of pieces around Jalen Hurts. I don't know if he's going to be in the MVP conversation. He might be because of their wins.
He'll be in the discussion.
But you can tell that I don't know how confident they are in him just carrying the load. Because when you start to load up around a quarterback like this, you're saying that he needs more around him. So, but I still like this team. I actually like the Cowboys. They're not making the playoffs. I'm sorry, Cowboy Nation. This is the one team. This is a one-team playoff division as well.
Let's say the jury is out on whether or not the supernatural funk is still continuing because we haven't seen the starters play. But I think the jury is still deciding. But you made a great case.
I'm telling y'all.
If they start slow, Greg, do you think Sirianni has to go? Do they view themselves as, if they lose to the Packers in Brazil, are they in their minds, are they like, we're 0-1? Or are they thinking, we've lost 6 of our last 7 of 8, even more?
See, no, I think he'll be okay right away if they lose their first game. I don't think it'll be an issue. I do think we will tie it back to last season and the preseason, the idea or the fact that he chose not to play any of his starters. I think that will hurt him, and if they continue to move slow, I think he's out. I said this before. I'm with you on this.
Bill Belichick.
He's got him firing the coach and winning the division. It's a tough needle to thread, but it can happen. It can happen. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.